not going to let this go because this story shouldn't be let go. What Jax Ulbrich did and what Jeff Ulbrich facilitated Jax Ulbrich doing was not only wrong, but it wasn't a mistake. Jax went into his dad's iPad. First of all, as a person who has personnel files on my work computer, I don't let my kids anywhere near my work stuff. If one of my kids went into my work computer, pulled a personnel file, and called someone at my company, prank called them, I would get fired. I would get let go. Because I have a responsibility to protect all of the sensitive information that I have access to, which is why we have two-step authentication on things, which is why we go through all these trainings. I know them folks in the NFL have to go through those trainings, and so Jax didn't stumble upon it. He went looking for it. So he went looking for this information. He saved the information. He drove his tail back to campus, gathered some friends around and said, yo, this would be a funny thing if we did it. Recorded themselves doing the thing. And then posted it. It wasn't a mistake. It was on purpose. It was intentional. And not only was it intentional for them to do it, but he thought that there was no big deal because he posted it. You know how crazy it is to commit a crime and post yourself doing it? Which is why I don't buy the apology. I don't buy the he's just a kid excuse. That boy's 21. Once again, my son will be 13 in July. And if my 13-year-old calls somebody in my company, my big behind would get fired. More so if he grown. And even deeper than that, Jeff, it is your responsibility to protect this information. So everybody in this entire experience is wrong. And to pretend like, oh, he just made a mistake. No, he didn't. Everything he did was on purpose to humiliate and embarrass Shedeur. He's not sorry. He did what he did and he meant it. He's only sorry because the reaction he got is different than the one he was expecting. So he's sorry that y'all reacting in this way. He's not sorry about what he did. And he probably had to say sorry because of the violation of personnel files that Jeff Ulbrich committed by letting his son getting into his iPad could have got Jeff cost his job, and it still should get him cost his job because the rest of us would get fired for that mess. Well, other guys got prank called. If they also got prank called by this kid, fire that man. But also recognize that something I used to say when I was assistant principal to my teachers and to the behavior staff is our job is to stay out the news. It's to stay out the news. This became a story. So not only is it a violation, but it's a news story.
Well. I cannot tell you how tired I am of lack of accountability for people. And it isn't any wonder that our kids are lost. Because I agree with absolutely everything he said. And let me tell you something. This lets me know how old I really am. Because see, I was in the military when there was a time that the actions of your spouse and or your children could affect your career. I'm going to say it one more time. I was in the military at a time that if your spouse or your children brought shame to the organization, it could affect your career, meaning your promotion, etc. But now you got people doing OnlyFans and stuff in the military, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the accountability here, there is none. Because see, y'all new age parents, see, there would have been a time that I would have been afraid to do anything like that. And my daughter would have been afraid to do anything like that on the strength of what would happen to her. But y'all, it is interesting. The very thing that you all want to down Shedeur for is the same behavior this kid actually did. Going and getting something that he had no business in doing and using it for purposes that it was not intended. So the same aspersions you want to cast onto this young Shedeur Sanders is how apropos it fits this kid. And he ain't no kid. He's 21. But y'all want to make excuses for him. That's why we are doomed. We're doomed. We are doomed. No accountability for nothing. And again, somebody else talked about it earlier today. I think it was Stephen A. Smith said, that shows you how little he thought about his father. Because the actions he took, how it could have affected his father. He wasn't even thinking about that. Wasn't thinking about the life that his father has provided for him. the access that he has, that he would jeopardize that. I can't stand y'all. Y'all make me sick. And I realize that I am one of very few people who walk in integrity and accept responsibility for the things I do, good and bad. And I never made excuses for my kid. But y'all will, I mean, it's too much. It's too much. From the track girl, hitting the girl with the baton, to this, all this other stuff. You gonna go down with co-signing bad behavior. And again, like he said, the only reason he apologized is because he had to. He ain't sorry for shit. He ain't sorry for nothing. And let the truth be told, I'm sure they got some yucking it up. All of them. Behind the scenes. I said what I said. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Take that with you.